Yeah. Oh, it's sounds like sounds like Rio's having a little bit of a tech problem there, but he was just gushing about how awesome that video was, basically. So looks like he's trying to get back in, but either way, we'll have him back in soon enough. So yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was just a
think I'm
quick
good.
recap. Fantastic, good to have you back, Rio. That was just a recap of the some of the amazing plays from last split, Rio.
Yep, and I was just gushing about my favorite moment that happened last season, last split, was the cash out station that got shot to the moon, and just the reactions from the players there as they're just like, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?" And it was probably one of the best things I've ever seen in the finals. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. That was really well done. Some of the top plays that I've seen so far. And I think that we're going to be getting started here shortly with our matches. But before we do, we're going to be going over some stats from last split. So if we want to get those stats on hand, we can show you the pick rate and the bans that happened, the pick rates that happened for each class.
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing going on here. Obviously, there's the elephant in the room, which is that Light down at that 4.64% pick rate during last split Masters. And it was, this is kind of what people expected. The heavy medium meta very, very much in full force at the time. And of course, there is the proviso here, medium with a huge pick rate, but obviously that is sort of inflated by the fact that we have this one heavy rule here in Breakout. And if you're new here, which I am, but I did a little bit of research, we know that heavies are limited as a one class per team pick. So like it or lump it, that's how it works here at the moment, and it does influence the way that this pans out. But I'm hoping to see a little bit more light, and if any recent play in the game, some like World Tour, some of that ranked just in general recently is to go by, then we should probably be seeing a little bit more light in competitive play.
Yeah, I hope we will. Me just playing as a casual player, definitely am seeing more lights in the playfield. So I think that there's a good chance today. I think that they have a lot of utility, a lot of things that they can really do. And in my opinion, it makes for a really well-rounded team. So getting that heavy, medium, light mix in there, I think that you've just got a really nice, solid foundation for a team that can just go to the top, destroy, and be in and out of situations. It's an all-around well-rounded team. So I would love to see more lights, but if we see more medium, heavy, I think that that's also a really good strategy to go with. But it just kind of depends on how your team plays and who is playing on the team. So I'm excited for the matches today because who knows? Last split really surprised us because we did have some light players that came in and just really shocked us all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth saying as well that even if we do end up with more HMM, there's going to be a lot more variety within that lineup now, because you just think about the impact that some of the changes that have happened over the course of between season 2 to season 3 and how that might affect the top level of play. Maybe there's a slim chance that we see that mesh shield drop off just because of how effective winch claws are at dealing with shields. They go straight through them. It's an interesting kind of balancing choice, that, but one that does definitely shake up the meta. Maybe we don't see that so much with only one heavy in play. If you get two, then maybe you get the mix, but either way, it might have an impact. We'll see if there's anyone that's taken to that. You've also got the KS-23 as a very popular heavy weapon in combination with the Winch Claw. We could see that pop out. And of course, there's lots of variety within the medium classes. Do you run that Hill Beam double up? Most likely at this level. We'll see. Here's the map bans though, Rio.
Yeah, and so this is kind of shocking. We're getting rid of Sis Horizon, but let's go through them one on one. So they've banned Soul, and Sis Horizon has been banned. I'm a little shocked to see that because Sis Horizons normally are one of our top picked maps. But hey, it's up to them. And moving on, it looks like they have picked Skyway Stadium, followed by Las Vegas, and followed by probably my favorite map in the list of maps is Monaco. So we have 3 really good maps. Skyway Stadium will be interesting because of all the variations that we can get, and we'll be able to see kind of just more of diverse gameplay. It's a big map, lots of room to kind of move around. Moving on to Vegas. Vegas is interesting because it has these big open areas that really allow a lot of team play that you need to play tight, or otherwise you get caught out and you really don't have anywhere to run or escape to before you just get gunned down. And then finally moving on to Monaco. Monaco is just, I think, one of the prettiest maps out there. It has just this really nice verticality to it. It has a lot of just, jumping in and out of buildings and a lot of really tight areas. So I think it'll be interesting to see how these two teams play out on these three maps, because they are kind of the bigger maps, the ones that have kind of more variation to them, more modes. It'll be interesting to see what we get, what map type we get for each one of them. And yeah, I'm quite excited. I think that these will be some really fun ones to watch.
I'm especially excited to see Sandstorm on Vegas, because that is just like a different map. It's the most drastic change you get to any sort of map in this pool. And speaking of that pool, you might have noticed, no Kyoto at the moment. The players have opted to keep it out of the map pool for this split. We'll see how that changes maybe come season 3, and we've got new maps coming in, and whether people have adjusted to it or not. But for now, that is the pool. And like you say, Vegas, an interesting choice, and especially not seeing Sis Horizon after how popular it was last season. We have two teams as well to talk about here, Rio, because they're the ones that have picked these maps. NoName and NTHX Esports. What do you make of them?
Wow. What do I make of them? NoName, we have some really big players that I remember from Split 1. Noah X, Vlad, players that really just kind of stick in my mind. I remember watching Noah last split, and he's a great well-rounded player. So I am excited to see him hop up in here and do this again. And then NTHX is also a team that should be familiar to anybody that watched the last split. Just really a lot of these players, Alphonse, Noli, and Carbon should be just some of these really amazing players, and when they're coming up against the NoName team, I think that there's going to be some good clashes going on. Both teams I remember had really good and tight aim, so these players go down in just seconds. So there's going to be a lot of reviving. There's going to be a lot of healing. There's going to be a lot of just I think that one of these reasons that the finals does so well is that it's a team-based sport. So you've got to really work in conjunction with your team, and I think that that's what we're going to see here today.
I certainly hope so. And as we round things up here, it's finally time to stop yapping and start clapping. We've got Skyway Stadium on the docket here. Lovely little intro cinematic here. Beautiful. And a great map to start things off on. Here we go. Straight into the action here. NoName versus NTHX Esport.
Yep, we see both teams kind of started on opposite sides. We see them jumping over with the jump pad, and we can start to see them run towards Vault 1. We've got a nice new viewer control, so we do have new views. Last split we were running in watching other teams' streams, but now we actually have caster controls. So we see right now Carbon getting healed, all set up kind of on the buildings. They're shooting for each other, trying to get this chip off damage. We see kind of each team is running around an APS and shield. And we see them jumping over right now. We see NoName pushing in. Rocket goes off. Winch chain. We do see the winch out, which is great to see. First team goes down. I can't tell who that was.
Still one up here, but he seems to be scrambling about, hoping to survive.
The jet setters grabbed the cash.
It looks like we had a team wipe. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. They've got themselves through. Yeah, I think I mistook a health bar there for a player, but it was an APS. So yes. Which team is pink? I think we both just admit here, right? We need to try and work out who's who. Okay, so it's Helco and Noah XTF and Vlad getting their groove on here with the first cash out in place.
Yep, we see them getting set up and putting that big heavy shield down, which really helps. We see the gateway going up, which is interesting to see. It's a really nice way to get your team moved from point A to point B as we get set up. And this should be a nice push onto the cash out station for B.
Popping through the gateway, oh, but messing it up, and you can see the frustration coming through there. As NoName are probably just sitting here wondering what's taking them so long. But barricaded off, and they're sitting pretty right now, but this is a really tight spot, and this is where the SA 1216 starts to come into its own. They're baiting in that engagement. They want to play in this tight spot. See the light as well on the side of NTHX. Can they get that opening glitch that could really turn the tide immediately? But out they come with the jump pad, and the initiation taken by NoName there is almost successful, but NTHX slapping back and now only have the one to chase down, dropping that barricade, gets the revive off, and then they're all back up
look
again.
at that push. What an amazing push. You can just see the damage going down. See them hopping in, all trying to push into this one little area. And there goes Nola going down. We see the healing beam from Electro, healing his team, doing this everything that he can. And I think that we're going to let you take over while I try and work out my mic.
Absolutely fine. That was a great reset from NoName there. And a re-engage. Very nice to see. So, yeah, these double defibs, they just cause so much problems, don't they? And NTHX sort of playing with something a little bit new here, rolling with that light. They are engaging this time from the further side of the map. Sending one in early to sort of scout things out, but it doesn't look like they've got any time to try and deny this cash out. So they're just playing for frags here to deny a bit of time. Light goes in. Alphonse this is with the LH1. Fires a few warning shots, but can't get anything meaningful, and will start to head towards that second vault. See the rest of his team following up here. NTHX getting close again. We've got the KS-23 with the winch. We did speculate that we might see a little bit of this in action today. It's very exciting to see the heavy meta sort of rotate away from just mesh shields all the time. We were seeing sort of more charge and slams as time went on, but winch just gives you so much control over anything. Gives you that free engage. Can even do a little bit of tomfoolery with the cash out. I know me and my stack are pretty fond of that. Shout out to my Americans in chat. I know you're there.
Testing again. Don't know if you can hear me. I think I should be back. Does it sound better?
You're nice and clear on my end, Rio.
All right, sounds good. We'll get back into this. It looks like I missed one cash out, but we are getting another team fight over Vault 2. We see them running over the zip line, hopping into the window. RPG is out from Nola, and we are NoLeX, and he's just holding onto that shotgun. Didn't shoot off the RPG just yet. We do see it coming close. Throws the bubble shield down. We see just a lot of damage going on for both teams. Carbonite goes down, healing his team. Oh, there's that windshield. Gotta love it. Winch pulling it in, and he goes down immediately.
Vlad in a tight spot here, and he is finished off eventually. And that's a pretty clean push there coming through from NTHX. They will secure that box, and now they're just getting in place to move that box as quickly as possible towards the A site. It is the Villa. I don't know what the sort of professional call-outs are for these, so I might come out with a few interesting ones. This to me is a Villa. I don't know.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting that we didn't see a team wipe there. They kind of grabbed the box and the vault, and they just ran away with it. So they're playing a little, more cautiously. At least Vlad and his team are, and we now see them starting to push on. They are going to get the cash out started, and they're running towards it. They've regrouped. They've got their whole team there. We do see one of them, I think Noah, holding on to a red canister. Let's see if he uses that in any way. Looks like he's dropped it, and now he's just healing his team. Vlad is getting in, going for the push, running into vault. Cash out A, and it looks like they're holding it from a distance, or maybe it's hard to tell who has the cash out. Yeah. So Alphonse setting up on the roof, watching his team, trying to get any chip damage they can as the enemy team pushes in.
Interesting use there of the APS. I don't know if that actually caught the RPG or whether the heavy of Vlad spotted that in play before firing, but they have taken it down, that APS, and they now have the high ground, as we all know. It might be over Anakin, but great engage from Carbon. Finds one and almost sends another to the Shadow Realm, but can't quite finish him off. It's Helco, though, on a sliver of HP. Doesn't have much of a hope in hell of finishing off this play. He does get evaporated into coins. And that is a solid hold coming through. They lost the high ground, but they retook it with incredible efficacy.
Yeah, that was a great push. And really just kind of holding it back for his team. He tried everything he could, but I don't think that they're going to respawn in time to be able to get any more pushes. They might have enough time if they just run in and dive onto it, but yeah, they did everything that they could right there.
That they did. And here we go, another engage. This will be the last chance here for NTHX to try and do it in just 2. Otherwise, we will go for that final cash out. Quick engage, it has to be. Telco goes down quite low, but still in the fight. Jumps to re-engage. It's havoc, it's chaos, it's mayhem. And there's an attempt at a stick and steal here. And they may just get away with it. No, they... Do they? Oh, they're sticking it from the window, but it's not enough. And there we have it. We are going all the way to a 3rd cash out.
Yeah, I'm glad that they were able to get in there and give it their best try, but they just weren't able to get it.
Yeah, it was very, very close. There's a little bit of confusion in the chat about who's who. Don't worry, we are also suffering from this confusion. It's you know, as we grow as a game, we will acquire more useful tools, more useful spectator things. My big request, if you're still out there, Oscar, Embark Oscar, I saw you in chat earlier. Give us a kill feed. That'd be really, really handy for us casters to watch. Anyway, we've got a long-range gunfight going on across the Skyway rooftops here. Just some pot shots, nothing really too meaningful as Telco will scarper with that box. But they have a lot further to go than last time, and they're hoping for the protection of that mesh shields to guide them all their way, all the way to
Electro
D.
too. I don't know if you saw that real quick, but he was just dodging bullets left and right. He was doing kind of a zigzag serpentine pattern, and it did look effective. So maybe something to take notes about because that looked cool as he was running and holding the cash out. It looks like we see Alphonse trying to push in. We're going to see another team fight happen right here on the roof, and a lot of damage is going down. 1 teammate, 2 teammate, and I think they're down to just 1 member, or that might have been a team wipe. There's the last member. So we see Noah holding on and just kind of doing amazing gameplay right now.
That was one of those instances where we see the trade-off that you have when you take the KS-23 against something like the semi-automatic shotty. That gun would have been ideal in the situation that NTHX found themselves in there, just to spam out as much damage as possible. But you know, the KS works very nicely in a 1 versus 1, not so great at dealing with multiple engagements at the same time. They're going for a little bit of a bait here. Alphonse very unlikely to stick with steel, but maybe he will, as the cover is there. NoName providing as much backup as he can, but maybe it was all for naught here, prioritizing the objective over the team play, and very easy retake for for NoName there. So just leaving the 1 light up on NTHX. Alphonse has to try and regroup with his team now.
Yeah, NoName had a great come in, and they stole that perfectly, and it didn't seem like a team wipe. So both teams are kind of pushing off to the side and just regrouping, and we see NoName kind of getting for the setup. They've now come to the roof, which is a smart move, so that they can get any damage they can. And we do see this next team fight happening. We see both bubble shields going down. We saw the winch claw going off, and we see the LH1 just getting Vladimir down and eliminated. And this is a wonderful fight. I think both teams have lost 1 teammate, and they're just doing everything they can to stay alive. Fighting over this cash out. Oh, got a nice kill.
I've got to admit, I got distracted there because Oscar told me that he wrote down kill feed on his notes, and I'm so happy that he's already made an impact. Down goes the final player of NTHX, and that might be it. Doesn't look like there's too much time left on that, but this is, of course, quick cash. The name is in the game. Or something, words to that effect. There may be time for one final last gasp push. I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I think that's just about it. I think that's just about done it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it, and I think NoName will have secured this first one. Oh, they're coming in for the push.
They're going to try it.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time. They would have to be on it about 5 seconds ago. And that is our first round. NoName takes the first round, and they did an amazing setup. That last steal that they had coming in there was perfect. Well played, well executed. They were able to bring down NTHX at the right time. And just, it's all about timing. And they did everything that they can, and both teams put up a wonderful fight. And what a great way to get this first round and first match started.
Yeah, very exciting stuff so far, and I'm just glad that we had such a close game to start things off. It's one of those things you really hope you come into something that isn't just a whitewash. We got to see as well immediately my wishes answered. Someone running that KS-23 and the winch claw. So yeah, and we saw a light as well. We got everything in the top four. This isn't just a ranked phenomenon.
Yeah, no, and you're right. That was cool to see the Winchclaw and the Light player in there. And I think that we're going to see more of that Winchclaw coming out. Occasionally in the last split, we did see a few people running Charge and Slam, but I think that when you weigh the two, Charge and Slam versus the Winchclaw, just having that ability to, from a good distance away to grab somebody, pull them over to you, and before they can escape, just deal so much damage. It's a game changer. It's really cool to see. Fun to see. And I love that the meta is evolving at every match and every update. We see just things changing, and this is what makes an esports really fun and fresh. So that was cool to see, and I loved what you said earlier too, that it wasn't just a wash. It was just kind of both teams came to fight, they came energized, they were ready, and I love what we saw so far. And I think if it's any indication of the rest of today, we've got a lot of fun games coming forward.
I certainly hope so, and the stakes are pretty high as well. These two teams fighting for just points. In case you're wondering how this system works, you get further in this bracket, you get more points. And points are good. We want points. Points put you further up the leaderboard and make you more likely to qualify for the Masters event at the end of August. So we're going to have 4 of these open qualifiers. We had, a lot of it took place yesterday off stream. We have the first day one is just lots and lots of teams all gathered together, have to play their way through. So we're showing you the top 4 of each of those qualifiers, 2 weeks between each of them as well. So if you are interested in sort of sticking around, give us a follow. Just keep track of Breakout Esports as a whole. There's a lot going on here. This is where the best players gather, and we get to see some of those some of the new entrants in the other side of the bracket, in the upper half of the bracket. But this is the loser semi-final right now, and NoName down 1 map in a best of 3. That means that this could be their last show here unless they really bring the big guns out.
Yeah, I think both teams know what's on the line here, and I think that this next map, I don't know which way it'll go. Do you remember which one is up next? I think that it might be Vegas. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, and Vegas is always interesting to me because there's no other map that has the big open area like that. Like the streets are nice and wide. Obviously it's mapped and modeled right after the little Vegas in real life, and so there's these wide open areas so that you can have these crowds of people. So it makes for interesting gameplay and a lot of like traversal happening because we see a lot of jump pads. I don't think we see a lot of zip lines, but I don't know why. I think that jump pads do give you that kind of movement, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what they employ to deal with those little bit of differences in this map compared to the other two.
Yeah, I think it really does depend what your team are happy bringing. We do see the zip lines in teams. I'm thinking of, for instance, Chickpea, the sort of incredible shotgun medium that sort of runs around, basically just maximum mobility with a shotgun, and he'll ferry his team from point A to point B incredibly quickly. Zip lines just do that so well. But when you're looking for an engagement tool, you're a sitting duck on a zip line. Jump pads, you get the height, you make yourself difficult, you can launch the RPG off of it. It's a great tool all around, so we can understand why those are the mainstay mobility tool for mediums at the moment.
Yeah, and who knows what we'll see. I'd love to see another light in play, and I think that we're going to be hopping into the next map.
Money, Vegas. And then we head to Monaco as well. I'm certain this was a kind of a conscious choice on the minds of the developers. Do we pick a load of locations that are money themed, places that ABBA wants to go, right? That song, money. They sing to Las Vegas or Monaco because you go gambling there. Are we going to get an Atlantic City map, perhaps?
Maybe. As we're hopping into it, we see both teams spawning in. The vault is kind of in the middle of them, and we see the NoName and NTHX going at it again. I can't tell their lineup. I should have looked, but I think I saw a light in there again.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the rule set. You have to keep the same. You don't have to keep the same loadout and the same operators. Oh, you see, this is my siege brain coming through. Contestants. I need to align myself with the lingo here. Anyway, while I'm thinking about that, we've got an engagement going on here. It seems as though they've actually ducked out of it, re-engaging from above with that pad. And it is chaos. It is mental. Carbon taken down. Vlad's taking a big chunk of damage there. And it looks as though he leaves his teammates. Oh, the pink team get the reses off, though. Alphonse having to duck in. He's switched to that SMG for this half. And he does lay out a lot of damage there, but finished off. 1 versus 1 in shoes.
There's a team wipe. Yeah, we do see the light with Alphonse, so we are running with that, and it does look like NTHX was able to get the team wipe. That, like you said earlier, it was a utter just insanity when they jumped up onto the roof, and I do like that they're trying to get that above them, just kind of stay on top, winners on top basically, and we're able to go right up to cash out A now, and we're going to get this started. I think that we'll get them set up. We do see Noli running the winch claw again. So here we see Electro running in, jumping on the zip line. His team's going to start the push. They're a good distance away. I think it looks like 100 meters away. So by the time they even get to them, the cash out will be pretty far in.
Yeah, they might be a bit bruised and battered on the way as well because they have this low ground advantage they have to overcome, and that's what the jump pad's there to mitigate. Gets them behind that cover, and now it's trench warfare here. Sends down the shield to close the distance, but the barricades are up on the other side, and they finally meet in the middle. Alphonse taking a bit of damage on the other side of things, but look, everyone's still pretty much full health in this engagement, 10 seconds in. That is unusual for the finals, but finally Noah gets in, lands some meaningful damage, but it's not enough. The defib comes through, and it should be sensible here in the 2 versus 1 for the Heavy to go down. There we have it. Very close one there, but NTHX with great cover, and so much. Look at that. Look at the fortress they built themselves.
Yeah, Noah was with a bold play. He just decided to run in there and try and get some kills, and I don't know if that worked out for him because he ended up going down. He got rezzed, but it just kind of wasn't enough to push in and break that barricade. So we see wonderful plays coming in already. NTHX, not in the. I'm sorry, who is? NoName is down right now, and they're going to have to push in. We see another team fight starting to happen on the roof.
Glitch comes out to deny the shield, and that's a massive glitch. It takes down all of the utility on their side, and an easy wipe coming through. That is the value of the glitch grenade, ladies and gents. A free team wipe and a free cash out off the back of it.
Yeah, that was an amazingly quick team wipe. They did everything that they can, but NoName just wasn't able to break through twice. So great setup, great defense by NTHX, and I'm really kind of impressed with their setup. I think that they might be able to take this map if they are able to hold off and set up that defense like that, because that was impressive.
Very solid stuff from NTHX, and obviously the re-engage on the roof. They want to take them down before pushing for this vault, but they have to be worried about the second glitch grenade. There it goes, doesn't quite connect though. Didn't aim it for the shield itself. You've got to question that decision making there, but of course he has 2 in the pocket. Shots come out, and it looks as though it's still a 3 versus 3 here. Vlad goes down to the Heavy of Noli, and that is a massive boon to the side of NTHX as they look to push off the back of it.
Yeah, wow, I'm really impressed with the defense that NTHX is able to set up, hold, and they keep taking the same fight on the, I don't know, what do you call that, like the roof almost of the middle of the map. It's a really interesting location just because of how domed it is. So really cool to see them set up, throw down the barricade, both teams with that APS turret to to shut out any RPGs, any nades that come through. But yeah, NoName's going to have to step it up if they want to take this.
Conga line to B site is happening right now, and we see second vault being ferried over there. High ground advantage here for NoName right now as the cash out is put in. That timer starts. They isolate one and they get that early pick, very big there, and it looks like they have the utility, they have the heals to be able to force their way. Just a war of attrition through this point. They will be able to keep themselves up. Doesn't look like they melt through the shield in time, but they can keep chasing him down. Reload comes out. It looks like that door is locked, but Noli loses his last remaining teammate, trying to open himself a route to escape, but his days are numbered.
Yeah, and I love that the shotgun can do that kind of damage to a wall or a floor. And yeah, he was trying to escape, did everything he could. It was smart plays, but he just couldn't get out in time.
Alphonse is coined here to keep themselves up, but they're going to have to wait here as they do get the steal, and they have to regroup realistically before they can go for the push.
Yeah, it's smart that they didn't get the team wipe. I really thought that they did get a team wipe happening, but now we're just seeing the setup and the inevitable push because this cash out's already halfway through. And we see NTHX, we see them holding off, and it does look like NoName is set up on the roof in a nice little area right above the cash out station. So it's going to make the push for NTHX kind of a little bit harder. And Noah is really great on this AK, and what I've been watching so far on him is he's great at knowing when to switch off from healing in the AK. So it's fun to watch him because it's a really high level play of just knowing that perfect timing of healing versus damage.
That is the eternal struggle with the kill beam. Oh, speaking of the struggle, it's going to be pretty difficult now for the retake to come, or for the take to come through in a 2 versus 3. NTHX struggling to put out any meaningful damage there. Almost finishes off one of the mediums, but he's spruced right back up to full health, and now Noli can only pray that he doesn't get taken down in time, but melted at the last moment, and that'll be a solid cash out. Once again, we go to the final third of the round. So this time, NTHX, well, they need to get this to keep themselves in it.
Now, that was really cool play. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but NoName came in, they swarmed as a team, and literally all 3 of them were on the cash out, shooting the last remaining team from last member from NTHX. That was coordination, that was cool, and I think that we're seeing why NoName took this first map, and now it's 1-1, and I think that this next vault will kind of show who has it. I think that NoName might be able to take this.
NTHX playing off for now, looking to guard the approach to both C and D. We'll see which way NoName decide to go. The scouting out, they have spotted them on the high ground. Some great recoil control there from Metelko. That's the difference maker between these pro players and you know, the rest of us, is being able to maximize the damage output on those AKs on whatever it is you're using. They do look like they've opted for D here, looking to take the low ground as well, go through cover, avoid the overwatch from above. We'll see if NTHX can maneuver themselves to prevent the plant, but no, it looks like it is slotted straight in, and in fact they're slow to react it.
Yeah, I think they're slow because they want to make sure that they have a good approach. Because we see Alphonse just kind of going away from the team. He's doing perfectly what a light should do. He's trying to find an entrance and maybe even go around them. But we do see, yeah, time is ticking down. You know, we see NTHX, they still haven't gone for it. They're holding off.
There's the opening.
And they are on the roof. Nice kill from Alphonse. He's dropping in. And I think that they might be able to get the steal here in just a second.
Threads the needle with that glitch. I don't know if it came good, but they are landing significant damage onto the heavy, and that's the finish and the wipe. And a steal will be coming. It's just a matter of moments now. NTHX looking to keep themselves in it.
And it's still early. There will be enough time for NoName to kind of come back and get into this for at least one more good push. So if they're able to get that entry just like they were able to, I think that there's a chance. But we do see NTHX getting set up on the roof, which is probably the most powerful position to be because they can just peek right in and see directly down to that cash out station. So by the time that NoName respawns, they've got a really heavy, challenge to push in and break this defense because NTHX can hold it.
They were expecting them to be on the roof with that jump engagement, but they are further afield now playing from height, and I think they might just go for the shield steal, the dome steal here, baiting in the engagement. No, they're not going to stick it just yet. They want them to come in for it, but the dome is there, and it is winched out of position. Is that what happened?
Wow.
I'm not sure,
Yes, I
but
think
either
so.
way, that's completely demolished the play-making ability of NoName, and NTHX looks set to try and defend this just off time alone.
Yeah, NoName is doing everything they can. We just see people going down one after another, getting the res immediately. It is utter chaos with Alphonse being the last member on NTHX, doing everything he can, bringing down that shield, but it's not enough. No, they were able to steal it. NoName took it.
The steal stuck through all of that, and NoName eliminating NTHX in this qualifier.
Wow, that was really amazing to see. Kind of shocking, honestly. I thought that NTHX was going to be able to come back and get, the steal, get the hold, because they were able to get the second cash out, and I think that showed, like, okay, this is our strength, this is our power. But NoName, wow, I think that Noah had an amazing performance, and I think Vlad, and just some of the NoName kind of showed up and gave themselves a name.
Yeah, great one. Yeah, they absolutely did. And well, they've put themselves through into the losers final, so they are guaranteeing themselves at least a third place finish now, maybe even a second if they can win that match. But unfortunately, that is the end of the road for NTHX Esport. A great showing, though, with a 4th place finish. That gives them a decent number of points. There is a slight change, interestingly, for those of you that followed Split 1, a redistribution of points in these qualifiers. We saw that it was perhaps likely that teams would take single qualifiers and get that top spot and then not have to compete again because they got 100, and it was enough for them to just wait it out and rejoin, 2 months later virtually in the Masters event. We've now squashed that points distribution, so first place is only worth 75, meaning that if you win a single qualifier, you still probably have to play another one just to secure that spot. But of course, we'll see how it plays out. Last time 100 was enough to get you in the top 8, maybe 75 will be enough to put you in the top 8 now. Either way, 4th place gets them a decent number of points, but 3rd place even more, 2nd place even more, and then 1st 75, and that is what hopefully the other 2 teams will be gunning for here. Ape Squad and BBB is next up in the winners final.
Yeah, I think that when the winners final, so we saw just amazing gameplay just happening with NoName and NTHX, but now we're going to see the teams that are technically better. And so if you really enjoyed the last game, I think that this next round coming up will be just absolutely impressive. So we're going to throw to a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be Ape Squad versus BBB. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.